What we got here is called a Kansas Jack power post. Now, to this day, these are still very popular frame machines. If you go to an exotic high-end body shop, they're going to have drive-on frame machines. And the drive-on frame machine is actually a platform that has a bunch of holes for tie downs, and then it's got 2 or 3 of these that are mounted around the sides of it. Now, some of them have a 4-post power post pull, and some of them have 2. My buddy Ed just sold his, Cajun Ed just sold his, and it had 2 posts, but they were exactly identically like this. But the only difference is these were mounted on a pedestal that was mounted to the floor that kind of swung around. Do you understand what I'm saying, Manny?
Yeah.
So this is where frame machine action actually started, is with this tool right here called a power post. Now there was another one that they used to make, and I called it the one-arm bandit. Now what the one-arm bandit was, if you take your arm like this, all right, you can see, like, let's say this, it was cut off here, and then what you would do is you would hook this part onto the car, and then the chain would be up here. There would be a jack in between right here, and then you would pull it like this, and then up and down this post right here, there would be different holes, such as these right here, where you would put your chain for tension, and then you would pull your dent out just like that. Now I used to have one of those. I made one myself. It worked very, very well, and I wish I had it for this job right here, because it would be perfect for this. Now what we're doing on this job is, if you look down here, the insurance company did not pay to replace this quarter panel, this bedside. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling it out. Now what happened is the owner backed into something, crushed the fender in, the bumper, I'm sorry, into the quarter panel, and then it pushed everything this way. And you can see where it's buckled up right here. Can you see that, Minnie?
Yeah.
So what we're going to attempt to do is use this tool to pull that out. Now, hopefully it's going to work. Hopefully. What we got here is a couple items. They're called Mo clamps. Now that's a brand name that makes different clamps. There's actually, Kansas Jack makes their own, but this is a Mo clamp, and let me show you how this works. Once you tighten it down onto the metal, it has a arm in here, and it's a wedge. And the more you pull on it, the more that wedge opens up to tighten down onto whatever you're pulling on. So we're going to start out with this Mo clamp, which works in the same design, same area, and we got to be really, really careful, because we don't want to rip this metal, because we all know how brand new cars are these days. So we're going to take the Mo clamp hook, and you can see one side is bigger than the other, and this hook is basically made for that right there. And then what we got on the floor over here, come on over here and let me show you. These are called pots. These are called pulling pots. And that's actually a hole drilled into the floor, and then the chain mechanism goes down into the floor, and when you pull up on that chain, it wedges itself into the floor. And if Minnie could go ahead and look around over here, here's some more right here. I got them all over the floor in this bay. There's one there, here's another one here. And then of course they go throughout the floor from one end to the other, so very important. Now, back in the day when I did a lot of collision work, I used this post a lot and made a lot of money with it, and worked it pretty hard. This here is a hydraulic pedal that is hooked up to the ram down here, and this is a 20-ton ram you're looking at right here. And one problem that you have with these items, the ram especially, if you don't use it for a long period of time, what happens is the seals will go bad and you have to rebuild it. Now, the last time I pulled this out, we were working on a Vega and it wouldn't work, and I had to go have this rebuilt, which cost $150. So hopefully this is all going to work together. Another thing we got on our power post here is you got this arm right here. This comes out, and then this is our chain that wraps around into our mechanism. And if you look back here, let me pull this up. This part right here actually ties down to this chain, which is tied down to a pot. And then this chain here, it actually goes through all these gears. And you can see right down here, here's the gear. Let me get that wrapped down there. Then you can get down there. and you can see that gear right there where the chain rides on. And then what that does is that rides there, and then you tighten your chain up back here, and then you'll hook it here. And then as the ram itself works, okay, it will push that to the way that we want it. Now, we got a situation here I just noticed. If you look right here, you can see where this actually fell off of my ram. And I don't know why that did that. But we're going to go ahead and fix that real quick. And then we're going to come back and get our frame machine in action. We got the frame machine rigged up. There's a little end down here. I need to purchase one, and I just haven't had time to get it. But it's pretty much stripped out. But that's okay. Okay, so if you look right here, you can see here's a gear up here where my finger is. And then it kind of comes down through here, and then it wraps around there, and then it hooks back here, if Minnie can show everybody, right here. And then follow my finger, and you come down here, and what happens is that ram pushes that back, which in turn pulls this, which makes all this work. Now, this one back here, all right, is where you tie your frame machine down to the ground. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to get this out of the way, put it right here. And if I look at this, where this hook is, it looks like it's a little bit high. We're going to go ahead and try to pull that thing out. I'm going to hook my tie-down chain right here. Then I'm going to take the frame machine and I'm going to kick it forward as tight as it'll go. And you can see how we tighten it all up. And then we're going to take this piece right here, and we're going to run it through them gears. Can you see what I'm doing here? Okay. And then run it through a little bit more. So you want to leave that loose. Then we're going to hook this onto this chain, just like that. All right. And then if Minnie comes back here, what I'm going to do, remember that hook I was telling you about? I'm going to go ahead and pull that so it's tight. And then I'll hook it down on there. And then hopefully we're going to get a pull out of that right there. I just want to tell everybody, this is just the start of this type of a pull. This is going to take several pulls to get this out. And we're going to have to use several different clamps, clamps, and brackets to get it done. I have a plate that welds to metal, and I'm thinking I might have to weld that plate here just to pull this out. So it looks like I got to pull it like right here to get all this buckle out and to get this body line here straightened back in. So let's try this first and see what happens. One more thing about doing these type of pulls, you want to be real careful not to rip what, Minnie?
Rip the metal.
Rip the sheet metal. So if Minnie can keep her eye on that. There it goes. See the ram? Look at the ram down here moving. Alright. Now if you look over here, you can see it's pulling it out. Am I right or wrong? Okay, that clamp didn't do us too good.
I know, it looks better than it did.
Let me go ahead. Another thing you got to be careful with is this is a very dangerous tool to work with. I've seen guys get hit in the head with these, with the chain snapping off. Okay, so we're trying to pull this out, and then once we pull that out and this is straight here, then we can work on getting this out. Look like it's doing anything, Minnie.
It's pulling it
okay,
out.
while I got pressure on it, I can see where it's pulling it out and it looks pretty good. But while I got pressure on it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hammer and dolly that with the pressure on it, and we'll see where it takes us. I got this long reach hammer here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it from the back side here and try to get that thing knocked out. If I can get my flashlight, and always wear your safety glasses when you're doing this. This is very dangerous. So, that side there. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm kind of seeing where it's messed up. It looks like it's... You see anything happening?
I'm not looking, I'm watching the camera, sorry.
Hold on right there. The pressure. See, the problem you have, there's no room in there to actually hammer and go. So you've got to rely on your pulling tools to do everything. Now what we got here, this is called a slide hammer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook it right here. A bit of help there, see? Now, we still got a situation, but you can see, look how loose that is. So that's telling me we need to go ahead and let our ram down just like that. And you can see how loose it is. Remember, we had it tight, Manny?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and tighten all this up again. And we'll start over. And then we're going to put our foot pedal over here so we can watch it. And I'm watching two spots. I'm watching right here, and I'm watching right here. So really, to pull this out, we got to get up in here and pull it out. And I'm going to show you how that's going to happen in a minute. I think that's pretty much all the pulling we can do down in that area. All right, so what we're going to do now is we basically pulled the bottom out to the extent that it's going to be pulled out. And if you come over here, this tool right here is called a pulling plate. I'll show you how that works. Now, this thing works in two ways. You can drill a hole, and then of course use this as a puller, and then it clips in here. You see how that'll clip in there? And you can pull it out. Or you can come over here and you take one of these plates, and then these clip things right here would come off just like that, and then it goes in there, and that's what we're going to do. So let's get all this hooked up, and I'm going to put it about right there. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it's looking
Looks
good.
like just like that right there. So we're going to take our plate just like that. I'm going to stick this in here just like this. And now, look what we got. We got pulling power. So the way we're going to use this one is we're going to take this, hook it onto the chain, just like that. And we're not going to leave our frame machine right there where it's at. What we're going to do, pull it back, disconnect it, pull it back, pull it back, and disconnect that chain, and we're going to move our frame machine over so we get a pull like this right here. Okay, so I'm going to move the frame machine all the way over, just like that, and now I'll be able to get a pull at this angle here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Manny?
Yeah.
Because we need to pull it this way to bring that back around to put it back under that tail light, see? So So now we're at this angle here. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Tighten this chain up. Then I'll push it this way, just like that. And then see if we can get another link out of this. And then we're ready to do a little bit of pulling. Now, we gotta be real careful what we're doing, because this is where the final finesse comes in. Okay, so once again, we're gonna pull this section here. We're gonna bring this back into place and hopefully get some of this buckle out.
Oh, that's looking good.
Okay, now don't do anything. Don't do anything yet.
I hope they could see
Watch
on
out.
the video how it's just
Look at the buckle now. It's almost gone. Okay, now still concerned about this right here. So let me release it and see what happens. Now that looks a lot better, look at that.
yeah, it's looking good.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hammer. This is a shot blow hammer, it's full of sand. And then we're going to that back in place a little slowly but surely. Okay, looking good. All right. Okay. I'm hoping by pulling this out, it's going to make this go back in. We already got this section in, but we got a buckle right here that we got to get out. Put that on here, just like this. And then we're going to go ahead and leave our frame machine in the correct position that it's in now. Tighten up the chain. And just to let everybody know, if Minnie could put the camera under there, I do have the truck tied down to the floor. You can see where the chain is overlapped on the rear end. And then I got it tied down to a tie-down pot, pull-down pot, whatever you want to call it. So here we go. Let's get up here and see what happens. It's pulling it out, but it's not pushing it in like I wanted. Okay. I'm going to pull it just a little bit more, and then I think we got enough pull action on this. Okay, so we're going to leave that like that. Now, look what I did by pulling that. I shouldn't have. See that gap there? Mm-hmm. So what I can do to get that back to where I want it, I can move my frame machine over there. See what I mean? And then pull it this way. We can take our frame machine, we can move it all the way down here, like this. See what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Put that like that. And before I tighten my chain, watch what I do here. I'm going to take this off, take that out. I'm only going to move it to that one there. Or we'll just pull this here instead of that. Okay. And then we're going to go like this. Here we go. zone, danger zone. Pulling it back in.
Looks like it, yeah.
A little bit more. Okay, we'll go ahead and loosen that up.
Lift the
Okay, I'm going to do it again. We're almost there. I saw it move. Let's tighten it up again. Try it again. Here we go. Okay, while we got pressure on it, look what's going on over here. We're pulling out that buckle. See what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah. And this here is right in the right spot where we want it. Look at that. So that's pretty good right there. But this is what's concerning me. And I can pull this out. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to pull it just a little more past what I want it to pull, and that way it will, when it comes back, it will stretch to where I want it. So I really got a lot of pressure on it. I got about 15 tons of pressure on that right there. And I'm hoping that when I loosen this, it's not going to spring back. Let's see what happens, or we'll have to do it again. We've got to keep repeating our process until we get it. Look at there, Minnie.
It didn't move back.
It moved back a little bit.
Did it?
Yes.
It didn't look like it to me.
So that's okay, because what we're going to do, we're going to do it one more time. All right, we're going to do it one more time. Let's go ahead. What the problem is here is when you're pulling that, you got to be able to hit it just in the right spot where the spring or the pull will stay in place. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is do this right here. Watch your eyes. We got a lot of action on that. That's a big pull right there, believe it or not. So. And I think where our problem is, it's going to be down in this area here when we were pounding that out. Okay, let's go ahead and loosen it up. Cross your fingers. And it looks like it's going to stay pretty good. How's it look from there?
It looks really good from this.
Yes, it does. So, there you go. And that is how you use a frame machine right there. It's going to take me approximately another hour and a half messing around. I got to get my dent puller out. We got some little imperfection right in here. Looks like it's good here. This was my main concern. Like I said, if we look right here, the tailgate was actually overlapped on that, and we got that out. But you kind of get the idea of what a frame machine is and how it works. And this is the key right here. This is what makes the frame machine work. It's the specialty tools that are out there to purchase to make it all happen. This is one handy tool. I think I bought this 28 years ago before I met you. I bought this when I first moved to this shop 28 years ago. Universal pull plate. And let me tell you what, that thing really does the trick. You can see it comes with all these fingers and different plates and angles, and look at here. You know, you don't use this a lot, but when you need it, it's there to use. And then when you're all done, using your frame machine, doing all the body work that it takes, and then of course painting it. If Minnie can show us what we got here. All right, what I'm doing, I'm letting the sticker dry out here in the sun for a few minutes before I pull the paper off. We painted this truck. We fixed the body work. You can see it's all been done here. Look what we got. Can you bring that camera over here and show them? All right. Now, from using the frame machine, that's what we got. The reason I have not put the tail light in yet is because I am going to install a backup camera for this guy. He's 86 years old. He's wrecked his car. How many times? We don't know.
Well,
Every car.
Twice on this one.
Twice on this one before we fixed it, but every car he's owned, he's always wrecked them. And it's from backing into stuff or pulling in. So I'm going to go ahead and install a wireless backup camera for him to help him out. 86-year-old Bill. And I want to show everybody who Bill is over here. Come on. See what that says? Right there. Korean War vet. Alright, so our buddy Bill deserves the best of everything in life because he fought in the Korean War. And he was actually a gunner on a Super Fortress B-27? 29. B-29 bomber, side gunner. So Bill gets extra attention from my friend Pete. We won't be charging him for that backup camera. That's coming out of my pocket as a present to our faithful veteran of the United States Armed Forces, and hopefully he won't be backing up into any more concrete barriers in shopping centers and grocery stores. I'm going to tell everybody a situation. This bumper's used. I got it over at a junkyard called LKQ, like kind quality. That bumper was $600 complete. That's a used bumper, but it works. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, showing you how to use the tools and doing the job the way it's supposed to be done. Take it easy. I don't know if you have a frame machine. I don't know if you'll ever use a frame machine in your life. But now you know that the big guy that owns that frame machine, when you take your car to him, he ain't gonna be able to screw you around because you know exactly how it works, this, that, and the other. I did blend this paint in, and all I painted was a quarter panel. I think it matched up really nice. What are you thinking, Minnie?
Looks great.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. So remember, it was all buckled up in this area. We had to fix that. This was all crushed in right here and in this area here. But I'm going to say it once again, by using the right tools, taking your knowledge, watching videos like this one here, not just mine, but other people on YouTube, you're going to learn how to do a lot of stuff in life. So don't take people like me for granted, because taking someone that's teaching you how to do something for granted is the wrong fucking thing to do. I think I've rambled on enough. I got to get this sticker off all together here. There's another situation before we go. How much do you think that sticker was? I'm going to tell you how much it was. If you just walk in, average Joe, and buy it, that's $88 for that one sticker. I got it for $67, and that's because I got a discount. Fucking ridiculous. We'll see you later.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.